Hello YouTube, it's Sarah, and it's finally fall! Today is actually the autumnal equinox, so I thought it was a perfect time to do the It's Finally Fall book tag. This tag was created by Tall Tales over on YouTube. I will leave a link in the description below to her original video. And without further ado, let's get started. Question 1. In fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. For this, I went with Under Different Stars by Amy A. Bartle. I just recently finished reading this book. I listened to it in audio format and oh my gosh. We follow a young girl by the name of Cricket. Interesting name. And she is taken to this like other dimensional world called Ethar, and she finds out that she's not human, she's actually Etharian, and a war basically breaks out over her because there's this prophecy that a priestess of two houses will basically save everybody, but one house will fall. So they're all fighting over who gets to have her. She has two abilities, one of which is called a soothsayer, where basically she can tell if you're being truthful or not. There's a hitch with that though, because if you believe what you are saying, then you think you're telling the truth, but the fact may not be the truth. So, for example, the soldiers that have been sent to get her are told to bring her home. You know, they'll welcome her with open arms. So she sees this as truth, but initially this was not the intention of the order giver. Her second ability is to be able to see the future. This ability she just gets after reaching Ethar, so she doesn't have a whole lot of control of, but the descriptions of Ethar are enough that I felt I was there on Ethar with her on this adventure. Question 2. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic such as loss or grief. For this, I went with My Sister's Grave by Robert Dugoni. I read this, I don't even remember, earlier this year, maybe end of last year. It follows an adult now, Tracy, and her sister disappeared like 1 or 2 decades prior to where this book picks up. There are some flashbacks, and it's this journey of Tracy's to find out what happened to her sister now that 20 years later somebody stumbled upon her sister's body. I very much enjoyed the emotions that the writing stirred up. I felt for Tracy and actually was quite disturbed because the sister's name is Sarah, so I don't know, I was having like a moment at times when I was reading the book because Sarah was dead. I'm Sarah, wait a minute. Anyways, so that's how well it was written, and I would recommend you check it out. Question 3. Fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction book that taught you something. I actually haven't read a whole lot of nonfiction this year, but I am going with How to Be a Boss. And I'm totally not saying that right. It's not boss, it's like boss. Anyways, by Lily Singh. This book is very well written. It is a fun nonfiction book, just empowering you to be your own boss and how to do that. Question 4. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with people we love. Name a fictional family, household, etc. that you would like to be a part of. After some consideration, I actually have 2 families I would consider. The first of which being the werewolves from the Women of the Underworld series by Kelly Armstrong. I just think it'd be cool to be able to transform to a werewolf. I don't know. The second family, I'm going to say the Hawk family from the League series by Sherilyn Kenyon. And I'm going with the Hawks. I mean, while their parents are morons, the brothers there, like, they stick together and they have this large, I'm going to call it an extended family, where it's just like really close friends, but they're so close that they call each other brother and sister because they're that close. If you attack one, you attack them all. Question 5. I'm gonna need to modify this one, but I'll give it to you in the original format. The colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a stack of fall-colored spines. I don't really have a whole lot of physical books. I mostly do ebooks. So I'm going to modify this and say fall-colored book covers, and I'm going to show you this collage that I made. The books in this collage include Mage Slave by R.K. Thorne, The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch, which I just got for my sister. Thank you, Sissy, for my birthday. Her Final Breath by Robert Dugoni, which I actually think is like the second book in the Tracy Crosswhite series, which goes with the My Sister's Grave that I mentioned earlier. Memory and Death by J.D. Robb, Reign of Madness by Cal Cade, which I'm sure you've heard me talk about a few times. Second Born by Amy A. Bartol, Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder by Joanne Fluke, A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, Eldest by Christopher Paolini, Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, and The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. Question 6. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fire. Name a book where someone is telling a story. I kind of cheated with this. I'm going with Champions of the Dragon by Michael Plouffe. Did I get that right? Yes. By Michael James Plouffe. This book is told from the point of a narrator. So it's the narrator telling the story. So, and like I said, I'm kind of doing a cheat here, but this book is so good. It will make you laugh. It didn't really make me cry. So basically, it's just an overall uplifting, like, hilarious book. It's about 5 basically strangers. They're each from their own little town. They are chosen to be a champion. However, the secret about these champions is they're all people in these towns that the towns don't want anymore. Like, there's an ogre that, because she defeated, I don't remember, there was some monster threatening the town. She defeated it. So as a reward, she was able to eat all the food she wants for free. Well, she's a hungry little ogre and can't really go 1 second without having food in her mouth. So she's eating this town out of house and home, almost literally. So the town nominated her to be champion and basically go die because no one has defeated this dragon. But on this journey, there's kind of a twist here. The champions actually start having confidence and overcoming these reasons that they were chosen to be thrown out of these towns. So I want to know is, do they actually succeed in defeating the dragon? That's what I want to know. But this is only the first book in a series, so I gotta go get the other books now. Question 7. The nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. I really don't do creepy. I hate horror. Ask my husband. He loves horror. He literally drags me to the horror movies. For this, I'm actually going with a manga series that I just started earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. I'm pretty sure it was early this year. Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. I hope I said that right. This follows a young boy who is human to start with, but late one night is attacked by what is known as a ghoul. These ghouls are people that look like humans, but in order to survive, they have to eat human meat. Human food will literally make them sick. And when he is attacked by this ghoul, he is seriously injured, like close to death. The doctor uses the organs of the ghoul that he somehow manages to kill to save his life. Well, now these organs have kind of taken over, and he's basically taking on the characteristics of a ghoul. Human food now makes him sick. So now he's like half ghoul, half human. He knows the goodness of the human food, and many of these ghouls would just like to be normal. So he must now figure out how to fit in and go unnoticed in the human world, but also learn about the ghoulish world. Question 8. The days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold, rainy day. For this, I'm going with The Fire Within by Krista Lacey. This is technically middle grade. This is a short middle grade read. It goes very quickly. Okay, it's not really short, but it goes quick. It's middle grade, and it teaches us that dragons are real, in a sense. And these dragons live in these like pottery sculpture forms created by one person in particular in this book, and they have each one has a special talent, and they're basically here to help us. They want us to succeed and be happy. Question 9. Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite you'd like to get back to. For this, I'm going with The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This book, originally I had checked out the audiobook from my library. I waited until like the last week or something that I had the book to actually read it, and oh my gosh, if I had read it in the first week, I would have probably listened to it 2 or 3 more times. Because holy crap, this book was so freaking good. There were times, like basically about halfway through is where my anxiety level for these characters just went through the roof. The book follows a small group of boys that are basically chosen by this nobleman of the court in this kingdom to take the place of a lost prince. The royal family, the king, queen, and crowned prince, have all just been murdered, found dead. And there's rumor that this lost prince actually wasn't killed on a ship that left port to take him somewhere else. I don't remember where. So the ship was attacked, and people for some reason think that the prince escaped this. Now, we do find out if the prince escaped the attack or not in the book, and I can't tell you because it would be a spoiler. People believe that the prince is still alive, and now a lot of these noblemen are training young boys to be this young prince. There's a hitch with this particular group of boys, and I can't tell you what that hitch is because that hitch would be a spoiler, and that hitch is what took my anxiety level when listening to the book just through the roof. I literally, thank goodness it was the audiobook, I had to get up and start pacing because I was so antsy. So I really definitely recommend The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Question 10. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share some of your cozy reading accessories. I usually actually just grab a book and sit somewhere, but As my husband teases, I could be in a volcano and I would be cold. No, I'm not that bad, but he teases that. So I'm actually usually wearing my sweater and may or may not at some point, I may not start with it, but it will probably happen at some point. I'll grab a blanket and I will probably grab a drink, usually soda or something, and then I'll put it in this nice little tumbler that I got because it has a straw, so you don't have to, you know, tip your head back to try and, you know, you can't really read while you're holding the book when you're tipping your head back. But for some reason, I don't like drinking coffee or tea out of something like that. I don't know why. It has to be a mug. And if you ask me coffee or tea, I will tell you tea. And I grabbed a cinnamon apple tea. It's fall, right? Perfect, cinnamon apple. I may grab a healthy snack, but usually it's some kind of candy. My current go-to, it changes from time to time, month to month, whatever. Actually, for the last couple months, it's been Jolly Ranchers because, you know, you just take them out of the wrapper, stick them in your mouth, and then you're good to go for a while because you're sucking on it for a while. So you're not constantly, well, reading and your hands don't really get messy. So those are my cozy accessories. Okay, question 11 is technically just to tag some people, and I don't know that people really do the tagging part anymore. Usually when I see a video, it's, hey, if you want to do this tag, do this tag. And I know I don't wait to be tagged, so if you want to do this tag, do this tag. Don't wait to be tagged, just do it. Consider yourself tagged. And that is the Finally Fall book tag. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a new video. TTFN!